This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm joined by Steve Kim here in Frisco, Texas. Steve, firstly, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a busy stretch. I was in Las Vegas a couple of days ago to see your countryman, Tyson Fury, grab hold of the heavyweight crown. He may not have 3 belts, but I think he has the throne. And now I'm here for the best fight card of the year, top to bottom. I think Eddie, he likes to put his promoter hat on, but I can honestly tell you that this is a fight card that top to bottom is probably as deep in terms of quality as anything that's scheduled for 2020.
We'll obviously briefly touch on that small rematch from the past weekend later on, but let's start off with this. Mikey Garcia versus Garcia-Vargas, one which is possibly slid under the radar because everybody knew about Wilder Fury last weekend, but it is a brilliant fight. Some question marks over whether Mikey can still do it at 147 after he's lost to Errol Spence, and Garcia-Vargas obviously going in with a quality operator and who's also a former world champion. But what are your thoughts on their fight?
Well, this to me is interesting. The odds are very heavy. I think it's actually an overplay. The value, if you're going to be a gambler, is all on Garcia-Vargas. I don't think there's any value whatsoever on betting on Mikey Garcia. Look, the overall resume of Mikey Garcia in terms of winning titles in 4 different divisions, some of the names on his resume, he's been in unification bouts, solid victories like Sergey Lipinets. Throw out the Spence fight, that's an anomaly. But when I spoke to Garcia-Vargas a couple of weeks ago, he made a very good point. He said, Steve, I know Mikey Garcia is a very talented fighter, but at 140 to 147, my resume is actually better. Now, one thing I did notice, when Eddie and Matchroom did a press conference at the beginning of January, or a couple of months ago, to originally announce this event, the one thing that I noticed, when they squared off against each other, Jesse is significantly bigger. He's got a much taller frame, shoulders a little bit wider. It was eye-opening. I've never thought of Jesse as this physically imposing fighter. He made Mikey look like a guy that should be at lightweight. And right then I said to myself, as much as I like Mikey Garcia, when you have skilled fighters at a certain level, the world-class plateau, size matters.
Do you think realistically then, with that in mind, you'd rather, and we may well see Mikey drop back down to at least 140 in the near future?
Look, I've called Mikey the Mexican Sinatra. He does it his way. He doesn't listen to a lot of people. In fact, it's mystifying. I like Mikey. He's a really nice guy, highly intelligent, but he even frustrates his own family with his own independence. And if it was up to the brother, Robert, he'd be at 135 and he would have fought Lomachenko already. Now, do I think his days at 135 are probably in his rearview mirror? They probably are. But at 140, you have guys like Josh Taylor. You have guys like Regis Prograis. Ramirez. Well, Ramirez is trained by the brother, so a little bit of an issue. That would be a little awkward. But I'm just saying that there are actually a lot of fights that could be made, and I'm still not convinced. As much as I like Mikey, and I think Mikey's one of the best technicians in the world, just fundamentally sound. He's a textbook. But we have not seen him win a single round at 47 yet. So we got to keep that in mind.
So just move away from that headline fight, just get your thoughts on some of the undercards. Cal Yafai versus Roman Gonzalez. Everybody in Britain's kind of been waiting for Cal to have a big fight. But what do you expect us to see from Roman Gonzalez? Are we still going to see the former pound-for-pound contender?
Well, there's an old saying, he may have lost a step, but it's a step most people never had. I saw Roman at the gym about 3 weeks ago, visited him in camp, spent a day watching him train. He's in better physical condition than he's been in years. In the past, at this point in time, he'd probably be in a sauna, in a plastic suit, working off weight. This particular camp, I believe he was probably able to make weight about 2 weeks ago. The year off with the knee injury, I think settled him psychologically. I think he needed a break from the game from a mental standpoint, let his body heal. I actually think we're going to see a very good version of Chocolatito. If Cal Yafai beats this guy, he's going to beat a very motivated future Hall of Famer.
And just a quick word as well on Julio Cesar Martinez versus Jay Harris. Martinez a heavy favourite once again. What should we expect him there about?
Well, a full-out assault. Jay Harris is a pretty good fighter. Never really been at this level. This is going to be a physical fight. I did an interview yesterday where I said Jay Harris, the first thing he has to watch out for in round number 1, there's going to be no feel-out period in my view, or it's going to be very short. Jay Harris is not going in and dipping his toe into the shallow end of the pool. He's going to have to dive right in. Martinez is a physical, fast-paced pressure fighter. He's not technically perfect, but he makes up for it in volume. So if you're Jay Harris in his corner, from that first bell, he better be on guard, and he better be willing to either slow down the tempo with really good boxing, which may be difficult, or he better be ready and willing to stand and deliver and be able to match that pace. It's tough. It's going to be very tough to do that.
Now, obviously, we briefly spoke about it at the beginning of this interview. The Wilder Fury 2 rematch just gone. I know you spoke to my colleagues in the aftermath of the fight. We've had a couple more days to reflect now. What's been your thoughts on it? Everything's that been said. Deontay not happy with his corner throwing the towel in, talking about his costume weighing too much. What's been your thoughts on everything since?
Well, Deontay has made a disastrous loss worse. It's almost like he's lost a few times. I really like Deontay as a personality. It's really grown on me. Tyson Fury does something to him, and we have to be realistic. They have fought now, 19 rounds? It could be 15-4 in rounds 1, maybe 16-3. And it seems to me, and I hope I'm wrong, at least for the sake of Deontay Wilder, this is what I call a Humpty Dumpty fight. When a fighter falls off the wall and they can't put it together again. And I just wonder if Deontay is, I don't want to say having a mental breakdown, but he's having some issues dealing with the nature of this loss. It's one thing to be defeated. It is another thing to be dominated and to a certain degree humiliated. And, I feel for Deontay in a sense that fighters go out there, they bear their souls on the line and put their bodies on the line also and take great sacrifices. And this was a loss that, I don't want to say it was embarrassing, but it seems soul-sucking in a lot of ways. And I really wonder about that decision to take the third fight immediately. I think the sooner it is, the better it is for Tyson Fury. I really do, because first of all, he's got the momentum. Second of all, it gives Tyson Fury less time to, if he's ever going to fall off the wagon, a quick turnaround probably prevents that. And I was able to speak to Javen Sugar Hill, did a really great job in the corner. He said, Steve, we only implemented about half of what we can. There's still aspects to this Kronk training that I want to put in. So you asked me, Steve, if they fought July 18th, who would I favor? I don't think there's anyone that would favor Deontay Wilder at this stage.
And the final thing I just wanted to get your thoughts on, I saw a tweet from Mike Coppinger earlier saying that estimates are around 800 to 850,000 buys for pay-per-view. What do you think of that?
Well, look, I think they wanted $1 million. They wanted 7 figures. I don't know what the break-even point is in terms of financially. I think we all have an idea of what they made. But I think the important part for this event, and I spoke to Eddie about it yesterday, is the fact that the game is very fractured. We're able to bring 2 major players to the table, and that now there seems to be more or less détente between the major factions. If you can get the likes of Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, Al Heyman, whoever else is a powerful player, to come to the table and break bread together, in the long run, boxing's going to win. That number to me, while it may seem disappointing, I've had a theory for a while with the YouTube channels and the illegal streams. There are more people watching boxing than ever across the world. They're just paying less money for it. I mean, I'll be honest, if you punched up YouTube right now and you put Fury Wilder 2 in the search bar, you'd probably find 75 versions of the fight, and you just look at the viewership numbers, some of these are in the millions. And they shouldn't be up there, but they are, and it's like plugging a dike. You could stop one stream, next thing 10 other streams come up. I don't know how the business is going to fix that. I think that genie's out of the bottle. But overall, if you look at the big picture, if you can get people to consistently work together once in a while, and then so the next horizon is, can we get Spence Crawford? Then I would look at this as a victory, if not a financial blockbuster for everyone involved this weekend.
Well, Steve, we'll leave there now because I know you're a busy man. Thank you for your time, and thank you to Boxing Social once again.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Anytime.